One way or the other, these street boys and internet scammers always go through the same pattern. You would assume that due to their struggles in life, before finally managing to get 3 square meals on their tables, they would be humble whilst enjoying their illicit loot. But not these ones. The moment they hit their scamming jackpot, they think the world is on their shoulders, and they are larger than life. This is the larger-than-life lifestyle that always leads them to their downfall. And such is the downfall that this street guy, wannabe millionaire, Nana Kwame Bediako, also known as Cheddar and Freedom Jacob Caesar, to mention a few names. So who is this Cheddar guy? This was a Ghanaian school dropout of a hustling street guy who ended up in the UK. In his hustling life, he ended up in jail in the UK. Upon his release from jail, he decided to be very creative in his streetwise endeavors. He packaged himself as trader who was supplying car spare parts from the UK to Ghana. A big fat lie if anyone interested was attentive to know that the UK is no car production country for spare parts to be exported from to Ghana. He started wearing some strange uniforms, which made him look like a colonial slave castle military guard, claiming that was his signature to save Africa after Kwame Nkrumah. He made it his profession to show up uninvited at every event where important personalities met, took pictures with these personalities, and curated his fake lifestyle on social media as the most successful businessman in Ghana. With this package in hand, scammer Jacob Caesar approached the Kurdish-born British hotelier Azad Kola with a devised city-building project. This was just a revised version of a previous Hope City by President Mahama, which ended up as a hopeless city because nothing happened after the funds allocated were squandered. Scammer Caesar's project was named Petronia City near Takoradi, which was then the new town for the newfound oil base in Ghana. In Azad's mind, and I quote, "We need to build a platform of sustainable industrial development, producing and manufacturing to an international standard that will bring investment, training, and a number of additional socio-economic benefits to the local and wider communities." In 2013, agreement between scammer Jacob and Azad Kola was reached, and funds were released to the scammer. The project was registered as Kensington Residential Partners in Ghana, with the scammer as one of the CEOs. Scammer Jacob, upon receiving the funds, mounted a hotel at one of the prominent places in Accra, with a nice address as Oxford Street, number 1. The rest of the funds he used in displaying flashy sports cars and some ridiculous designer fashion brands. Scammer Jacob grew so much wings that in 2024, he decided to be a presidential candidate. Based on his street life, his message to the youth in Ghana was that education was senseless, so they should rather concentrate on street life. Amongst some of his ridiculous thoughts was his intention to route the sea from the Atlantic Ocean to Kumasi, a midland forestry area, because he saw something of the kind being realized in Dubai. He even managed to scam Pan-Africanists like PLO Lumumba of Kenya, Dr. Arakana of Zimbabwe, and MP Julius Malema of South Africa to a so-called Pan-Africanist summit in Ghana, when in reality, his plan was to get them to speak at his political rally to claim that all Africa has endorsed his presidential inanity. To God be the glory, discerning Ghanaians saw through his scamming self and rejected him outright. Fast forward to 2026, 13 years after he scammed Azad Kola for his money to build a hallucinatory city. The Kola Holdings Group, under the directorship of Azad Kola, enforced a judgment debt of $14.9 million from a UK court through the Ghanaian courts on this street bandit. According to a notice published in the Daily Graphic of Ghana on Thursday, January 22, 2026, the foreign judgment was formally registered in Ghana on May 20, 2025, after Kola Holdings Limited, applied for the English court's decision to be recognized and enforced locally. The original judgment was delivered on January 23, 2025, by Deputy Master Sabic KC of the High Court of England and Wales, with variations granted in March and April 2025. Once registered, the judgment became binding and enforceable in Ghana. In his defense, Scammer Jacob started pulling out the race card, claiming that he is being accused because he is an African. But the fact is, was Scammer Jacob not given this money? And if yes, where is the said Petronia City? Well, as it stands now, Scammer Jacob now has to pay more than $14.9 million US with interest and costs to Cola Holdings Limited. So what do you think? Was it worth this hustle to be exposed and disgraced globally? Or Scammer Jacob Caesar, also known as Scammer Cheddar, was just a victim of the greedy, vain, and fast road? Well, if you enjoy listening to the modern-day fraudsters who are glorifying fraud as normal in countries like Ghana and other African countries, then kindly leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and thanks for tuning in. I will be back with the next broadcast. Good day.